You're locked in the dungeon on Heavy 89.3 FM. I am Raven, and we go all the way to 4 a.m. with extreme underground metal. Our number is 972-647-1893. Call and make a request. Look me up on Facebook. I'm Raven Dungeon. And say hello to our in-studio guests live. Right now, it's Infidel Rising. Introduce yourselves and tell us what you do.
Travis Wills, singer.
Chris Herring, bass.
Wayne Stokely, drums.
And everything else, right?
Seems that way sometimes.
Seems that way. Well, longtime fan of Infidel Rising, and thanks to you guys for always coming down whenever you have new music. And I haven't been this excited about new music from you guys based on the Moments of Dissension that you guys came out with. It was about 4 or 5 months ago. Mm-hmm. And the way you incorporated some new influences in your sound, I was totally wasn't expecting that kind of progression into kind of the Dimmu Borgir-esque kind of sound where it started out. And I have no idea what this is going to sound like. Wayne usually gives me a little teaser.
I didn't send it to you this time.
Yeah, he didn't tell me anything about it. There's nothing. I have no idea. So I'll be hearing this the first time, like everyone else here in Dallas and Fort Worth. So tell us what we're going to hear.
This is Chasing the Sun.
That's all you have to say about
That's
it.
That's all you have
This
to say.
song, this is David Gallegos, our guitar player, who's a little under the weather, so he couldn't be here. When we first started compiling songs and writing songs and gathering ideas, we got like a Dropbox folder full of like 30 or 40 some odd ideas that he had. And this song musically was kind of sitting in there, and I was going through all the ideas, and I heard this, and I was like, well, this is pretty much done. It's kind of a heavier continuation of the style that we did on the last record. And I was like, we made a couple of changes, moved some things around, added some parts, and wrote keyboards for it, and added lyrics, and it was pretty much done right there. So it's really the first song, you could say the first complete song this lineup of the band has done, which would be the four of us.
Well, that's great. Let's go ahead and get into this, and then we'll come back and talk about what the current lineup of Infidel is and how they're contributing and how it's kind of changed your current sound. This is the title of this track is, once again,
Chasing the Sun.
It's Infidel Rising in the Dungeon. Brand new Infidel Rising, Chasing the Sun. Wow. First time I've heard it. And it sounds fantastic, and I can't believe it's a demo track. I had to ask you guys, this is a demo track?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it sounds fantastic, man, and I'm just thrilled to
We
hear
spent time all week making sure it would sound good on the radio.
Well, it sounds fantastic. I mean,
Yeah, Dave did. That's all Dave. So
I love the
I
song
don't do
as a whole.
anything.
It sounds great. I want to talk about the different sound. The guitar tone is very unique. I like that sound. And tell us about the new lineup of Infidel and what these guys are bringing to the sound that we just heard.
Well, I mean, we've got Chris Herring here. He plays bass, and we have David Gallegos, who they both shared the same band
Years ago.
years ago. What was the name?
Power of Omens.
Power of Omens.
You want me to take this?
Yeah, you do that.
They were in a really technical metal band called Power of Omens. And funny enough, when we first started this band before, when it was just me and Travis, I played with Chris in the quote-unquote first incarnation of Millennial Reign back in 09 or something.
Uh-huh.
And he was my go-to first choice as a bass player, but he claimed to be too busy at the time. Now he claims I didn't ask him to really join.
No, it was supposed
But-
to only be a temporary thing, so I wasn't going to waste my time with it.
Oh, man.
So whenever I first got sick and we had the Fates Warning show coming up, Daniel, our former bass player, he's a drummer first. And I didn't want to have to cancel the show. So I told Travis, let's get Chris, see if Chris will fill in on bass and move Daniel to drums. That way we can, play the show.
Right.
And once everything kind of splintered or fell apart or people bailed after that, Chris stuck with it. So we obviously needed a guitar player, and he had played with David in Power of Omens and brought that up. And I was like, well, if we can get half of Power of Omens in our band, that's a win-win all the way around. And so far it's proven to be just that.
Well, the sound has progressed from your previous full length. Travis, tell me about the lyrical concepts that are going on.
Actually, after we had the music, I went ahead and applied keyboards to it. I knew that I wanted to have keyboards in the song, and they kind of went into the kind of Arabic sound that you hear, and which is funny because me and Dave both share a love for that Egyptian Arabic type of sound. And after I wrote the keyboards for it, I was just messing around with vocal melodies, and whenever I'm messing around, I make up words, and some of the words came out, and it sounded like Chasing the Sun. And Wayne, I sent my vocal tracks to Wayne to see what he thought, and he goes, sounds like you're saying Chasing the Sun. He goes, that would be a cool name for the song. I'm like, yeah, that would be a cool name for the song. So I went ahead and wrote lyrics around that idea of chasing the sun back in the I guess the times when Egypt was a huge power in the world, and I took it from the perspective of someone where everyone is worshiping Amun-Ra, and he decides he doesn't want to do that anymore. He wants to be his own person, have his own thoughts, and do his own thing, and that's what the song is about. He's no longer chasing the sun.
Right. Well, it's interesting to hear that the music came first, and then that kind of inspired and kind of organically grew the lyrical theme.
That's
there.
generally always how we do it.
Well, I know that in previous works with Travis, he had a kind of a mindset on what he was.
Maybe a lyrical idea.
Of what it was going. So that may have been. Was that a new experience? Doing it like this?
No, I've always done it like that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I have lots of versions of our songs where he's scatting over it and saying non-words.
Scatting over.
But I can't. But I can't put that out because he also has audio recordings of the songs I write lyrics to of me singing them to him. So,
So
it's
he
a double
definitely has-
blackmail situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds great, man. And this is going to be on the new album, right? The new
Oh,
full
yeah.
length.
Yeah.
Will people be able to hear this when you guys play live on
Yes.
the 14th at the Reckless Rock Radio benefit show out at the Ridgely?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, so we're going to hear this. The next track that we'll get into. Are going to be any more originals going on that night?
Both of these songs for sure.
Both of these songs for
Yes.
sure, and then some classic stuff from
Yeah.
Infidel Rising. Fantastic. Let's talk about this show. It's at the Ridgely Room, which to me is new, right? Is that the same as the Ridgely Theater?
No.
Okay.
If you remember how the theater used to be set up, if you're looking at it from the front, there used to be that smoke shop to the right.
Okay.
That's now gone, and that's part of the Ridgely Room, and you enter from the side.
Okay,
where the
great.
parking used to be.
Great. Okay. Well,
But
it's great.
It's a great sounding place, decent sized place. I mean, I would have never imagined how they could have done that until I went there. But it's a good sized place and sounds real good. So
Well, that's going to be a great show. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing you guys on that bill. Joey C. Jones is on the bill, and Legacy, and
Black Star Republic.
Black Star Republic. Okay, fantastic. That's going to be great. Thanks so much for doing another KNON benefit.
Absolutely.
So that's going to work out really, really great. Let's get into another track. You guys brought me two tonight, and tell me a little bit about this one. Let's go into a little more detail. I mean, I don't want to just throw it out there and say, listen to it. What is this about? You know, what are we going to hear?
Well, actually, this song we wrote in the rehearsal room during practice. We were just like a lot of bands, we're just hashing out some ideas, and there were some ideas that we all liked and we stuck with, and we, turned.
We were
into
kind
a
of
song.
tuning up, and Dave played this riff that I thought had a kind of Fates Warning-ish feel. And I just started playing along, and we were getting like sound levels and everything in the room. And I just asked him, what is that? And he's like, I don't know, it's nothing. And I'm just like, well, let's take that and make it something.
Right.
Put this piece here, go 4 bars here. And it came together quickly, although there ended up being maybe 12 different drafts of it with just little pieces changed. But it came together really quickly. And so far, it's probably one of the more kind of progressive pieces we've done.
Simply the most technical piece.
Yeah, it's by far the most technical piece.
Unfortunately, Dave's not here, but, tell me, how did he come to be in the band? And he seems to be contributing a lot to your current sound. So,
Chris, take that.
Well, from Dave and my time in Power of Omens, which was back late, I guess late 90s, early 2000s, I knew he was very proficient as far as songwriting and ability, and probably one of the most creative guitar players I've ever had the opportunity to play with. So when we had the spot open up in Infidel, then I hit both of these guys up and said, hey, Dave's interested, because David actually contacted me after the Fates Warning show and kind of let me know, because he was aware that we were kind of floating in between guys guitar-wise, and said he would be interested. So we jumped on that, and you can definitely hear Dave is also, he's got another project he does, which is all flamenco guitar. So you can definitely hear all of his stuff. He's heavy flamenco influence, and it kind of bleeds into his songwriting quite a bit. And then he and I have always done well together as far as playing stuff and kind of riffing off each other. So you'll hear a lot of that, and kind of I would say a watered down kind of Power of Omens influence, but it's just a more technical vibe. Trying not to take it too much, but just trying to put a little bit more into it. So,
right. Well, I mean, it's hearing his contributions just from Wayne. You mentioned that he had just a bunch of ideas already, kind of started.
we're still going through those, and which is funny because we have so many of them, and not to mention that since the first album has come out, obviously we've had some lineup changes. Me and Travis have probably had 2 complete records written with other people.
Right.
And stuff just couldn't get off the ground for whatever reason. This stuff is hard. It's hard to keep 4 people together with one goal. But he has so many ideas, which is funny that one of the first songs we're letting people hear is something that just came out of a practice room jam, kind of on a whim. And as far as what this song...
literally, we started at maybe a month ago?
Right, yeah. As far as writing with the 4 of
Start
us.
to finish took a month to complete.
This song is a month
next song,
old?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a month old. What you're about to
Well, I
do.
just finished the bass line for it basically a week ago. So
Is that right?
And lyrically, this is kind of the same thing we always do. Is Travis was scatting along with it. Well, I shouldn't use that word anymore. Right?
The scat, like the
Yeah,
the bebop kind of.
Anybody without their mind in the
Just
gutter knows
making
what
up
I'm talking
words
making
as
up
I'm
words as
singing,
you go
because
along.
to
That's
me,
what that means.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
In
Steven
my
Tyler.
opinion, I think that the vocal melody is the most important thing, not necessarily the words. I figure I can come up with dynamic words around the melody. But the cool thing about this is Wayne actually wrote the words. And I wanted him to, he had some ideas he wanted to explore, and I was like, go right ahead. So
I just fit it to exactly what phrasings he had down. So, and as far as the lyrical content, it's like song's called "As Reality Dies," and I guess everybody has their own reality, and traumatic events happen that affect that reality, and it's kind of written in a vague way that anyone could apply it to their life. But I guess if anybody knows the last year and a half of mine,
Right.
here you go in 5 minutes.
Is this the first time you've done that? Written lyrics and had an idea?
I used to write all the lyrics in every band I was in previously.
Is that right?
this is the first time in Infidel that he's written.
Right,
lyrics.
right.
Yeah.
Other than a word here or there, but he's so great at it. I'm like, well, I've done this for so many years. Why, if he can do it, I'm not going to fight to get a lyric credit in just to get one in.
Right.
Do you have
Well,
a
let's,
demo of him singing the melody?
I do.
No, he does.
Totally
I told
put
him
that
to
on the
erase
B-side
that.
somewhere.
Is this the music for this song? The idea is it's all brand new as well.
Correct.
It's also it's
100%.
not
Yeah,
it's not
a
one of those
month and a
albums you
half
had
old,
written.
Fresh off
No.
the press.
So this is all the two brand new, fresh tracks. It's not something you've been sitting on for a while. So
Yeah, and this song, like you said, literally every note of this and every word and melody is less than 2 months old.
wow. Let's get into this. As Reality Dies, is that right?
Correct.
Brand new Infidel Rising in the dungeon. Brand new Infidel Rising as Reality Dies. The second brand new track from these guys are in studio. It sounds great, my friends.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for coming down, and it is truly an honor to premiere New Infidel here in the dungeon. And thanks for coming down and doing that. You guys are going to be playing the Reckless Rock Radio CD release party Friday, December the 14th at the Ridgely Room. Joey C. Jones, Infidel Rising, Legacy, Black Star Republic. You come down, you get a free Reckless Rock Radio CD. Will one of these tracks be on that CD?
No.
No, not yet.
Couldn't get it done in time. Tossed around the idea, but no.
Well, thank you very much for bringing it down here. And
you always get it first.
We appreciate it, my friend. We appreciate it.
Yeah, there is a track on the CD, just not one of those two.
Just not, but you will get Infidel on that CD. That's going to be a great show.
I hear there's free food there, too, while it lasts.
I see free food while it lasts. We'll see how long it lasts. If you want some free food, I don't even know what it is. What is the food?
I have no idea. We don't know anything. We're just going to show up and see what happens.
Show up, get some mystery food. I'm sure it's good. The Reckless Rock Radio CD release party. Joey C. Jones, Infidel Rising, and Legacy, Black Star Republic. Friday, December the 14th. That's 2 weeks from now at the Ridgely Room out in Fort Worth. When's the last time you guys played Fort Worth?
Ooh, that would be Tomcats on November 10th of 2016. How do I remember that?
All right, let's talk about what is coming up for Infidel Rising. Other than this show, you guys going back into the studio to keep working on your album? You're going to play some more live dates. What's up?
Yeah, just try to get about 8 or 9, maybe 10 songs good. As good as those, and get it done as fast as possible. But it's been so long now, our thought is, why rush it just to meet a release date if we're not 100% happy with it?
Right.
It has to be quality. It has to sound perfect. And we have to love every song on it, or it's not going to come out. But it will be early next year.
Early next year.
Can't give you a month or anything like that, but it definitely, unless something goes completely haywire, in which point I'm just done. I mean, I think we've got it right this time.
Have you guys thought about...
No comment.
Have you guys thought about where you're going to record it? Are you going to do it like you're doing this, or are you going to go to a studio?
We're going to do it ourselves and then have someone mix and master it.
Right. Okay.
But we can get the bait, like what you just heard is just ourselves. So,
well, I mean, you know what, the ability to produce good material on your own, good recording sounding stuff has just gotten so much better in the last 20 years that, you know, a band can actually, you know, there are guys in, you know, that sit down with their guitar and their laptop and produce, you know, like a symphonic black metal album, and it sounds great. Sure, so, right. I mean, if you can do it yourselves, that's great. But a good producer can also bring a lot out too.
The downside is now even your demos just have to sound perfect, or people think it's just awful. Right.
You sound, if they can't get a good demo out there, then no one listens to you. So, well, you guys don't have that problem with this one. This is great sounding stuff, and you guys, you're playing on the 14th. When's your next date?
Nothing after that.
Okay, you guys are just going to focus on...
Probably start back, going to try to get as much writing done as possible and start back around March.
Travis, this upcoming album, is it going to have like a connected lyrical theme, or is it just going to be individual songs?
It's just going to be individual.
Okay, and that's a little different from what you've done before.
Yeah.
You've always had an overarching idea or concept.
Right. Yeah, no, this, I mean, to me, I got to say as much as I wanted to say on the last album.
Right.
You know, so there's nothing really pending that I need to voice. So now it's just shoot. I mean, I don't mind as long as he writes some quality stuff. I don't mind letting Wayne do the lyric writing.
He's gotten lazy, is what.
I see. All right.
I tossed the idea at him a while back of doing a double concept album with both albums being different concepts.
Right. Well, I mean,
that would be the ultimate prog thing to do.
Didn't who did that not too long ago? Well, the name escaped me.
That goes to show that it did not work.
Well, I mean, it was interesting. It was one was like the white CD, and the other one was the black CD, but they kind of both sounded the same, I thought. But yeah, no, this continue on with this, my friends. It sounds fantastic, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the 14th, the last show for Infidel Rising this year. You guys got a solid lineup, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this year was about, is reestablishing ourselves and reestablishing this lineup as the definitive lineup. And what's going on now. Trying to get that word out there and finally having some new stuff to play will cap it off nicely.
Well, it sounds great, guys, and just my opinion here, it seems like this lineup with all of the members contributing the way they are, then it really is kind of focusing your sound, and you're producing something really special right now. So I'm just blown away that you guys were able to come together and hold it together and kind of reemerge after considering everything that happened. And but you guys are strong and as powerful as ever. So thank you so much for coming down. We're going to get into yet one more track, because I love this track, this Moments of Dissension that you gave me, 2-3 months ago or something like that.
I don't know, this song is old.
So this is an old song. Well, it sounds great. This is an older, new Infidel Rising song. Thank you guys so much for coming down. Now stay behind the mics, because Lexi Destro is going to do a little interview with you guys. She's not going to let you off easy.
Oh,
but
boy.
I'm about the music, but she's more about what you guys...
I didn't clear this ahead of time.
Catching you off guard, man. We're catching you off guard.
No mention of Lizzie Borden at all yet. I'm shocked.
Well, I mean, is he playing a date?
You.
No, I mean, when he comes to town, then I'll worry about that. It's the greatest album released this year. I know that goes against your number one list, but
the Night Flight Orchestra was the greatest.
You had him
album
at number
released this
3.
year.
I have no idea who that band is you're talking about.
Chris Chris says I like disco music now.
It is. I mean,
It's disco metal. It's horrible.
disco metal. I'm not sure that
amazing.
goes together, but
It's amazing.
It's awful.
Check it out.
I would have. I'm having a hard time forgiving you for not at least putting Lizzie number 2, but number 3.
Top 5.
Well, still.
Excuse me.
My midnight things, man. My midnight things.
I apologize, sir.
Let's get into some Infidel Rising, Moments of Dissension in the Dungeon.